All right, good morning, and thank you all for being here. I'm Nassau County Legislator, alternate Deputy Minority Leader, Deborah Muley. And I want to thank my colleagues for standing together on this important issue. And I would especially like to thank Michael Mulqueen and John Salazzo for being willing to share their stories. When residents step forward and tell you they were charged over $600 just to file routine paperwork, we have a responsibility to act. This is simple. $620 to file 2 pieces of paperwork is outrageous. And let me explain how this happened. During the Mangano administration, these fees were added in an attempt to avoid having to say that they raised taxes. In most New York counties, filing a satisfaction of mortgage costs around $50. Here, over 10 times that amount. The courts have ruled portions of these fees excessive and unconstitutional. The county was ordered to reset them. However, residents are still being charged hundreds and are on the hook for hundreds of thousands in additional legal fees to defend the indefensible. Here's something interesting. Even the current county clerk has previously gone on record opposing fee increases. The clerk has stated numerous times that fee hikes add an additional financial burden to the cost of home ownership and that she is fully opposed to them. In fact, she advised my constituents to contact me and the county executive. So I'm standing here with the solution. The ball is now in your court, county executive. This should not be controversial. This should be common sense. We are proposing immediate action to slash these fees down to $50 where they belong. Because after you pay off your mortgage, you shouldn't have to take out another loan just to pay the county clerk. Government should not be profiting off paperwork, period. This doesn't require months of debate. If our Republican colleagues and the county executive join us, this can be accomplished next week. And now I would like to introduce Michael Mulqueen, Oceanside resident.
Thank you, Deborah Muley. My wife and I have been residents of Oceanside, New York for over 40 years. A number of years ago, we took out a home equity loan, which has long since been paid off. And in December of this year, of 2025, my bank sent me a 2-page satisfaction of mortgage and said you could file this at the county clerk's office. I went down to the county clerk's office onto the first floor, and I was told that the fee to file this simple 2-page piece of paper would be $350.50. However, before I was supposed to pay that, they put a little sticker on this and said, go to the 4th floor and pay $270 for something called the tax map verification fee. Now, there's a history to that. That fee was declared illegal by a court a number of years ago. If you go all the way back to 2015, Maureen O'Connell, the current county clerk, testified to exactly what happened to me before the legislature, and I quote from her, "For someone to pay to have their section, block, and lot verified on the 4th floor, where I was told to go, and then come down to the office to record it on the 1st floor for a service that does nothing but generate a revenue of the section, block, and lot from a database that's erroneous, it's just mind-boggling in my view." In the same testimony, she said that the county clerk was earning money hand over fist. She was actually brave at the time, trying to challenge former county executive Mangano. But what happened after that is the fee was not taken away. Somebody had to sue, and in a case called Falk versus Nassau County, it was declared illegal. The county was ordered to determine what is the actual cost. I'm a retired lawyer, and I did a lot of research on this, and I found out that the statutes in New York State and the case law say that you can only charge the actual reasonable cost of the service, which according to Clerk O'Donnell was nothing. Well, that's the tax map verification fee. Now, the county, instead of going along with what the judge said, paid outside lawyers, even though there's over 60 lawyers on the county attorney's staff that we taxpayers pay for, they paid for outside lawyers to fight that. They lost. They went to the appellate division. They lost there. Then the block fee, which is what we're talking about now, came up for litigation in a case called Madsen versus the County of New York. The county fought that with taxpayer money going to outside lawyers instead of doing what. And then the judge ruled, this is an illegal and unconstitutional fee. You have to, within 60 days, reduce it to a reasonable amount. The county didn't do that. Instead, they filed an appeal, and they're paying 2 separate outside law firms to challenge this, all at taxpayer expense. My wife and I feel this fee is just outrageous, and we applaud the legislative members who want to reduce this. Honestly, the $50 is even more than what the actual service is. If a judge were to look at this, he'd probably say it's more like $5 or $10. I did research 62 counties in New York State. The average cost to file total is about $45 to $50. There are only 2 counties which are different, Suffolk and Nassau. Suffolk is also charging these outrageous fees, but nowhere near as high as Nassau County. So thank you, this group of legislators for finally doing something, but in my view, this is not a matter that the legislature should have to fix. It's a problem with the executive. If they just follow the law that's already been dictated by the courts and the statutes, instead of paying outside lawyers, we wouldn't have this problem. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to bring up Freeport resident John Salazzo.
Thank you, Debbie. I had a home equity loan with Chase, and it was just sporadically used only to tide over paying some bills here and there. Anytime I used it, it was paid back within a couple days. The term then ended in September, and soon after, about 6 weeks later, I received a letter from Chase telling them that I owed $620. I had no idea why. Talked to Chase and said, no, this is something that we get charged and we have to send it to the county. Well, I had no choice. I paid it, but I then sent an email to the county clerk, Maureen O'Connell, and she said she was very unsatisfied with this and directed me to appeal to Deborah Muley and our county executive. So that's why I'm here today, to say $620 to do what? It was a deal between Chase and myself, which was paid in full. Nothing was ever owed. And I learned that I have to pay $620 to the county. And I just couldn't understand in this day of technology what could cost $620 to process a piece of paper. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Now I'd like to ask the Minority Leader, Delia DeRiggi-Whiton, to come forward.
Thank you, and I want to thank Legislator Muley for bringing up this very important subject once again. I also want to mention that at the time when County Executive Mangano was in charge, the Democratic caucus did vote against these fees, and we've been concerned about them, but as stated before, they were deemed to be illegal, so from that point on, we're really aware that they are something that we should correct, because honestly, the county's on notice that they're illegal, and to continue to collect them now is putting us even in more danger, because there's a very good possibility that we will have to return that funding. So I think that's, the fact that we had both Michael and John, and I appreciate you taking the time to come here, but it's residents like this that have to come up here to because they're so upset about it. That it really shows how many people are being affected by it. And I'm going to tell you this, I was actually in a similar situation, and now it's $630. So it went up another $10 this year, I guess, and I don't really know why, but it did. So again, this is something that we've been trying to fight, not only because it's wrong, but honestly, ever since the court ruled on that time, which was, I believe it was, 2015. It was
2023.
2023.
2025.
So honestly, it's really under county executives' Blakeman's watch that these fees are now deemed illegal. So there's really no reason that we should continue this. We're really putting our county in a fiduciary risk, in my opinion. So I now turn it back to Deborah, and thank you again. And thanks again to the residents for coming.
Legislator Solage?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning. I just would like to thank my colleague, Deborah Muley, and all of my colleagues in government here. We are just trying to initiate some good legislation to help residents, homeowners. We are in the middle of an affordability crisis, and I'm very glad that these constituents brought up examples of fees associated to mortgage recording. According to the HUD, the mortgage delinquency rates for low-income households are surging. The 90-day plus mortgage delinquency rate for families in lowest income bracket jumped from 0.5% to 3% in 2025 alone. We are just trying to help Nassau homeowners hang on. Again, this is an affordability crisis, and I just want to thank so much my colleagues in government for initiating this piece of legislation that will help the everyday homeowner. Thank you.
Legislator Scott Davis?
Good morning. So these fees are essentially a premium that cannot be justified. When you take a closer look at it, in order to ascertain the information that's necessary to record this information, to stamp this information, on a good day would probably take about a half an hour. And Nassau County is out of step with what's going on throughout the state. As mentioned previously, the average fees in all 62 counties in New York is anywhere between $50 and $100. Our neighbor to the west, New York City, their fee for recording a mortgage is $20. To the north, Westchester, it's $50. And to the east, the next most expensive is Suffolk County, which is $250. So what this really boils down to is it's an unofficial tax on our residents, a money grab for residents who are already struggling with the issue of affordability living in this county. And this legislation introduced by Legislator Millet will go a long way toward helping reduce some of the affordability issues here by reducing it to an amount that is sufficient and in the same price range that all other counties in New York. So I think that this is something that really can and should be done right now. Thank you.
Legislator Nunez?
Thank you. Thank you, Legislator Muley, to the rest of the caucus, and to the residents for bringing this important issue to the forefront. Look, the issue ultimately comes down to fiscal responsibility and ensuring county government operates within its proper scope. This is about making sure government fees are not used as a money grab to pad the general county budget at the expense of property owners. A $600 charge on homeowners who have already fulfilled their mortgage obligation goes beyond covering administrative costs. The county fees should reflect the actual cost of providing a service, nothing more, nothing less. My colleagues and I are committed to ensuring residents are not treated as a source of excess revenue, but as taxpayers who deserve transparency, accountability, and responsible fiscal management. Thank you.
Legislator Russell?
Thank you to all of my colleagues, but especially to Legislator Muley, and for our residents that came here to bear witness to the exorbitant costs. And so as a real estate professional, a homeowner, and a legislator, I'm deeply concerned about the excessive costs imposed on our residents simply to record property documents. This feels less like a service fee and more like a hidden tax on our homeowners. If other counties can provide the same service at a lesser cost, so can Nassau County. There's no justification for residents paying hundreds of dollars for more for the same basic service. Residents shouldn't have to be semi-retired attorneys to understand why they're being overcharged. I want to acknowledge our guests that are here with us, and thank you both for being here to help support us in this manner. But no homeowner should need legal expertise to navigate routine government fees. Government works best when it operates transparently and reasonably. Residents deserve clear, fair, and lawful fee structures. Hidden and outdated charges undermine public trust. We are putting fairness back into our fee structure. Home ownership should not come with hidden penalties, and our residents deserve a system that is affordable, lawful, and easy to understand. Thank you.
So I just want to say that today we will be filing these two pieces of legislation. One is to reduce the fee on tax map verification, and the other is to reduce the fee on recording the mortgage satisfaction. Let's get this done. Thank you. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.